For many decades in the United States, Christians have not suffered persecution. Basically, different Christian denominations were allowed their freedom. That is changing some as we face issues like abortion and now gay marriage, and the stance that Christians are going to make that God has ordained marriage, and that marriage between homosexuals is not part of what He designed. But we see persecution not only happening with Christians here in a verbal sense, but even more violent persecution happening against Christians in other parts of the world. Christians are being killed for their beliefs. Persecution is something many of us have not faced. We just did a BT Bible study on the church at Smyrna, one of the churches in Asia Minor that's mentioned in Revelation 2 and 3. And that church is known as a church that was persecuted. In fact, that's the number one thing that they're known for. They were known for people who did good works and who were faithful to God while they were imprisoned, and even according to the passage, many of them died. They faced death to stand up for what they believed in. Persecution is something that may be coming on Christians more and more in a society and a world that is turning more and more against God and deteriorating. It's easy to look at people who are persecuted and maybe say, wow, what did they do wrong? Or when you're being persecuted and you know you're standing up for something that God says, it's easy to say, well, I must have done something wrong. Why have you abandoned me? In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus gives, in what is called the Beatitudes, a list of blessings. We all want blessings, but there's one blessing here that's very interesting. Here in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they revile you and persecute you and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my sake." This is for the sake of Jesus Christ. Now, if we're persecuted because we're obnoxious people, that's our fault. But here, if we are persecuted because we are Christians, because we stand for what Jesus Christ stood for, what He taught, we are His disciples, then He said, we'll be blessed. No persecution is comfortable at the time, and we shouldn't seek persecution. But remember, we have to stand up for what God says. And as Christians, we must live our Christianity in society, and that's going to bring about persecution. But always remember when you're persecuted for Christ's sake, that He says He will bless you. That's BT Daily. Join us next time.